You're being watched.
It's really happening. Oh my. Wait, hold here. Officer down. Hit him.
Hosted by Sean Sticks Larkin.
You know you're on camera, right?
Welcome to Crime Cam 24/7. New Year's Eve typically means lots of late-night partying, increased danger on the roads, and a busy night for officers and first responders.
Detroit, Michigan. Saturday, January 1st, 2022, 12:46 a.m.
It's less than an hour into the new year, and 2022 is about to start off with a bang, or more accurately, a crash. An out-of-control SUV slammed straight through the front of Zorba's Coney Island restaurant in East Detroit. Just seconds before this devastating incident, an interior surveillance camera shows a handful of hungry customers waiting in line before all hell breaks loose. This man gets knocked flat on his back as a sea of bricks, glass, metal, and smoke fill the room. But he isn't the only one. This customer also takes a solid hit before running out of harm's way. Meanwhile, just a few feet away, Marnasia Bracely takes the most direct blow of all. She's pinned between the vehicle and counter, desperately calling for help as the chaotic scene unfolds. Several people inside quickly step in to help, including Marnasia's father. In this shot, you can see her waving her hand to get someone's attention.
All I seen was like bricks falling, everything on top of me. I didn't know what hit it. I thought the building was collapsing. I didn't know what was going on.
Marnasia is later placed on a stretcher by first responders. Amazingly, despite the impact of the speeding vehicle, no one sustained any serious injuries. And while this surreal scene plays out inside the restaurant, another drama is taking place outside between the passengers and the smashed-up SUV, as an innocent bystander looks on. After nearly turning a group of innocent people into human hood ornaments, instead of checking on the victims, the couple in the SUV turn their attention towards each other. The driver seems a little unsure of what to do next. And between the crash and the woman yelling at him, it seems he just can't deal. So, he makes his way behind a dumpster. But his companion in the crash doesn't leave him behind. She takes the wheel of the SUV that just drove through the restaurant, turns it around in the parking lot, picks up her partner in crime, and then drives off into the night, completing the hit and run. Thanks to multiple surveillance video angles, police would later apprehend and arrest the two suspects. Their identities have been withheld as the pair have not yet been arraigned due to a massive backlog of cases for the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Scenes like the one you just saw are certainly unique, but according to a national AAA study, there's a hit-and-run accident every 43 seconds on U.S. roadways. And these accidents are responsible for 6 deaths per day.
Prepare for more feeds.
Even though I've been involved in many emotionally charged moments during my law enforcement career, there are a few things that have hit home and inspired me quite like what you're about to see. A true act of heroism.
Danya, Ana, New Mexico. Wednesday, March 25th, 2020, 9:05 a.m.
A surveillance camera outside a gas station shows a woman with her baby strapped to her chest in a carrier and her 2 other young children by her side. They're waiting for an Uber when, from behind, a man approaches them and appears to exchange words with the woman before a commotion breaks out. Several bystanders, including a store employee and a customer, try to intervene, but the man approaches the woman and her children again. A closer look reveals that the man suddenly grabs one of the children by the arm and tries to pull her away. The man then turns his attention to the store employee as the customer walks over. The driver of the Uber makes a call to 911.
I was trying to pick up the Uber customer, and there is a fight in front of the gas station. They involved the kid too. The guy tried to kidnap or something.
As the Uber driver pulls away, the family makes a break for it and is directed to go inside the gas station by a store employee. Behind them, the same store employee tries to close the door, but the attacker has not given up. Inside, a customer tries to help block the doorway as the man starts throwing punches. Meanwhile, a second female employee outside places a call to 911.
Hello, this is 911.
I'm working at the Chucky's in Doniana, and there's a man assaulting us.
There's a man doing what?
There's a man assaulting us, and there's a woman with 3 children that he's after.
The female employee does what she can to block the door, but after taking several punches to the face, she retreats as the customer inside tries to pull the door shut. But when he's unable to keep it closed, he becomes the next target. The assailant lands some direct shots, and blood can be seen pouring onto the floor. Off camera, the mother and her children have locked themselves in a storage room in the back of the convenience store, where she makes a desperate 911 call of her own.
I thought there's a crazy man. He pushed me, trying to take my kids.
In the background of the 911 call, the man can be heard trying to kick down the door.
Hello?
As everyone waits for police to arrive, outside, another man hears the screams and rushes in. Seconds later, he reappears on camera with the attacker pinned underneath him. The takedown and submission hold is nothing new for this Good Samaritan. He's actually 285-pound high school heavyweight wrestling champion Kanan Bauer. Minutes earlier, the 16-year-old was pulling out of a gas station across the street when he spotted the woman and her children fleeing from the attacker.
She kept screaming, she kept trying to get away from him. So then I hauled ass across the street. And I ran in there, and the guy was trying to kick down the door. They said there was kids in there, and so I grabbed him and I wrestled him, and I put him on the ground, put him on his back, and pinned him.
The would-be kidnapper struggles to break free from Bauer's hold, but it's no use.
And you said that he's still inside of the...
Yeah, there's a customer holding him down on the floor.
Hello? Hello?
For the next 4 minutes, the teen stays in control, keeping the man on his back until police arrive. Having just subdued the violent offender, Bauer casually puts his hat back on and walks over to comfort one of the employees caught in the chaos. Bauer would receive hugs that day, and later, numerous accolades for his bravery. The assailant, 21-year-old Daniel Beltran Arroyo, was arrested and charged with 4 counts of battery, 2 counts of assault, child abuse, and kidnapping. He was later found incompetent to stand trial. In March of 2022, Kanan Bauer, the hero of this story, tragically died in a motorcycle accident. He was just 18 years old. Kanan's father says that as a result of the story we just saw, which made national news, the community felt a connection to Kanan and rallied around the family at the time of his passing. He will not be forgotten.
Portland, Oregon. Thursday, January 10th, 2019, 4:42 p.m.
A home surveillance camera picks up a group of teenagers leaving Wilkes Park in northeast Portland. Several minutes later, the boys turn around and appear to head back towards the park. Seconds later, they spot something and make a run for it. The now weaponized truck takes aim directly in the path of the teens. Scrambling for their lives, the boys make a dash for the park at the end of the street.
It looked very intentional. You can see they kind of look at the vehicle. They're running away from it, and the vehicle purposely goes after them.
Before they can escape this 4,000-pound death machine, one of the young men is mowed down. He tumbles across the fender and narrowly avoids this steel bike rack. Meanwhile, his friend faceplants into a park bench.
It was kind of horrifying, to be honest. It looked like, he might have had a vendetta or something.
The driver of the truck spins out on a basketball court, then disappears from view. The teens somehow walk away from this incident that was documented on multiple surveillance cameras with only minor injuries. Police locate the truck abandoned 2 days later and identify the owner as 21-year-old Austin Keever Nyberg. He claims the incident was the result of a drug deal gone bad and that he'd been robbed. While out on bond and awaiting trial, 1 month later, Portland police arrested Nyberg after he robbed a local pharmacy. He pled guilty to attempted assault for the hit and run and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Nyberg pled guilty to robbery in the pharmacy case and was sentenced to 6 years, to be served concurrent with the hit and run sentence.
Prepare for next feed.
Every year, there are more than 1 million homes broken into. And of course, even the most affluent zip codes in the country are not immune to these troubling cases of unlawful entry.
Bel Air, Los Angeles, California. Thursday, June 17th, 2021, 1:47 p.m.
Inside a posh Bel Air home, a camera captures a nude man standing around the kitchen. It might be commonplace for some homeowners to walk around on the buff, except he doesn't live here. 30 minutes earlier, the nude, uninvited house guest opened the garage from an unlocked SUV sitting in the driveway. Once inside, the intruder disappears from the view of the kitchen camera. Another camera in the living room picks up the intruder rummaging through a gym bag until he finds a pair of sneakers that fit just right. But he takes them off before he reappears outside, casually dipping in the pool. While this Goldilocks scene is unfolding, homeowner Monica Sabs has been watching the cameras remotely and has some shocking news for her husband Matt, who has been upstairs the entire time the intruder has been exploring their house.
Someone came inside the house.
Inside whose house?
The camera.
On the driveway? Where someone?
Inside our house.
Aren't you inside the house right now?
No!
I'm scared.
Yes, Sandy, it's at the door.
Hey, what are you doing here?
This is my house. What are you doing here? I'm gonna call the police right now.
I'm gonna call the police right now.
No. Get out of the house.
As the intruder, now in shorts, makes his way upstairs, Matt calls 911 and climbs out the window of the second-floor bedroom. Moments later, police arrive and take the suspect into custody. Police identify the suspect as 33-year-old Paul Keon. He is charged with 3 felony counts of burglary. In January of 2022, he pleads no contest and is sentenced to 2 years in prison.
The homeowner did the absolute right thing in that situation. Notify authorities and get out of the house. Tangling with an unstable individual is never a good idea. And if someone is willing to invade your home in broad daylight, there's no telling what else they might do, and no reason to find out on your own.
Have you captured a crime on camera? Please send your videos and tips to crimecam247@lawnews.com. Prepare for more feeds.
Americans spend over $150 billion a year on illicit drugs, including cocaine. With a payday that big on the table, it's no mystery why drug runners are taking ever greater risks all the time. Trying to stay one step ahead of them is the United States Coast Guard, fighting the war on drugs hundreds of miles out at sea.
International waters, 200 miles off the Colombia-Ecuador border, Eastern Pacific Ocean. Tuesday, June 18th, 2019, 3:50 p.m.
4 Coast Guardsmen are launched from the side of a 400-foot-long cutter in the Pacific Ocean.
Ready forward! Ready in the boat!
The crew then races away in a 26-foot quick response boat.
The U.S. Coast Guard 26-foot vessel is powered by a single diesel engine. The highly maneuverable boat is capable of reaching speeds near 40 miles per hour in rough ocean waters.
After cutting through the waves, a crew member's helmet cam reveals what they're chasing down: a drug smuggling submarine.
SAS, ¿cuáles costas de los Estados Unidos? Auto su barco ahora! Auto su barco ahora! Auto su barco! Auto su barco ahora!
The occupants of the submarine either can't hear the commands or choose to ignore them.
Auto su barco!
Also in pursuit, a second Coast Guard boat can be seen flanking the target with armed guardsmen at the ready.
Auto su barco!
After moving to the starboard side of the sub, the team pulls up right on top of it.
That's gonna be hard to get on!
While bounding through ocean waves, 2 Coast Guardsmen jump from their boat on top of the fleeing submarine. Somehow keeping his balance on the choppy seas, one of the men reaches for the vessel's hatch and gives a thundering knock, knock, knock. A third guardsman then leaps onto the sub, just in time to help throw open the hatch. Inside, one of the sub's occupants can be seen raising his hands before the video comes to an abrupt end. This was the only footage of the incident released by the U.S. Coast Guard. The Coast Guard would arrest 5 suspected cartel smugglers inside the makeshift submarine without further incident. Stowed away inside the vessel were more than 17,000 pounds of Colombian cocaine, estimated to be worth $232 million. The impressive haul earned the entire crew a dockside welcome home speech and thank you from then Vice President Mike Pence. 3 of the men were convicted for conspiracy to distribute and process cocaine and sentenced between 11 and 20 years in federal prison.
Protecting the borders from drug smugglers comes at a tremendous risk for law enforcement and a staggering cost to U.S. taxpayers. Since Richard Nixon officially declared the war on drugs over 50 years ago, an estimated $1 trillion has been spent enforcing America's drug laws.
Port Arthur, Texas. Friday, April 1st, 2022, 7:48 p.m.
Just after dark, a homeowner's security camera captures a man walking into their backyard. Stepping out of the camera's view, he moves a bicycle to gain access to a small storage shed. Seconds later, he can be seen pulling a lawnmower out of the shed. It appears the man may have his eyes on the lawnmower. And what good is it without a full tank of gas? But before he can pull off the possible heist, he pulls the starter rope and begins mowing the victim's grass. Inside, the homeowner makes a call to 911 and reports that an unknown man is mowing his lawn. After finishing his work behind the house, the conscientious man moves to the front yard. He even takes time to move a broken fence board, as not to leave a spot of uncut grass. Finally, with his job complete, the mowing marauder rumbles off into the night, taking the lawnmower with him.
From the video, police identified the man as Port Arthur local Marcus Hubbard. Later that night, he abandoned the mower while evading police, and he remains wanted for burglary. But of course, the real explanation for this incident may be the date on which it occurred, April Fool's Day. That's all for this episode of Crime Cam 24/7. I'm Sean Sticks Larkin. Thanks for watching.